Mistress Foxmaster, I have report I have a report that needs to be delivered to the senior officers. The Lord Captain and Lady Navigator were lost during the emergency warp jump. Their whereabouts are still unknown. I am sending you the interrogation report. End recording. We're lost again. Are we even close to Dargonus? I don't even think we are. I mean, we could, like... We can't directly travel there. We have to take the long way there. We have to take the long way to Dargonus, which let's take the long way. There was a malfunction in the engineering chamber during the warp journey. The accelerator congregate stopped obeying the tech priests, and for a few precious moments the ancient machines were left to their own devices. The crew managed to avoid serious breakdowns or accidents. Several acolytes of the cult Mechanicus returned to the servitors as penance, and the Boston gave out several triple watches to the voidsmen who dredged up the old rumors about the cursed ship. It's not cursed, okay? While traveling through the Immaterium, the crew on duty in Loading Bay 7 heard what sounded like hissing from a giant snake. We still haven't caught that snake. Okay. We are here. There's a lot of things we should be doing here anyway in Dargonus. We've got to level it up. And other fun things. Okay. Holy Prophets. Date for payment of the tithe approaches, however, by making use of the corrupt practices of the administratum, one could find a way to keep both Psychus and the thrones. What's our profit factor up? Okay. Oh wait, we want to be here. Oh, do we need to bring Jay with us? Let's bring Jay. I'm not sure why we need to bring Jay, but I'm going to bring her anyway. I don't actually know where to go here. They did say to come to Dargonus. Oh, shit. Why am I on my own? Oh, we're always on our own, aren't we, when we come here? to see if she says anything. Do I actually have to be here for her? Hold on. I failed it. Why did I fail it? Did I do it too... Is that what it is? I think I did it too late. Okay. I think that's what happened here. I think I did it too late. I think all that is too late. I think that's correct. I think I may have waited too late. Okay. Could we have worse? Okay, we are the worst. So we're here for no reason, essentially. Okay. I think we may have done those missions a bit too late then. Maybe they were supposed to be done like in a previous chapter. Maybe. What a waste of a trip. Wait, she's probably stuck here somewhere. Yeah. Okay, so yeah, that was a bust. Huh. That sucks. That sucks. It does. I have been a really bad player, and I haven't kept up with my companion quests. However, let's somehow get back to here so we can go here. Acolytes of the cult Mechanicus have reported a disturbing incident. All Vox systems on the middle deck started broadcasting otherworldly sounds, whistling a haunting melody. The strains of monstrous music drove people into a frenzied dance that could not be stopped. Several hours later, the Vox devices fell silent and the dancing crew members fell lifeless. The area was cleared and the bodies of the deceased were disposed of with the necessary precautions. They danced to death. Yikes. Wait, we're gonna be in the vicinity of Foulstone soon, yes? Yes, okay. So we're heading that way. We are heading that way. Meow. An incredible find has been made on Foulstone, Lord Captain. A lost volume of St. Keith's Lost Diary has been found during the restoration of his crypt. According to his records, the members of the Order of the Hammer were able to find the crypto-ark containing a relic of St. Cognatus, the Crucible. Keith's writings on it are vague. It is called the Sculptor and Transformer, granting life and grace. The explorators have sent a delegation claiming the treasure. The heated dispute has been going on for days. What is the meaning of this dispute? The tech priests claim that the privileges of the Adeptus Mechanicus oblige the Order of Hammer to hand any sacred archeotech over to them. Allegedly, the crucible should be considered not as a personal belonging of the saint, but rather as the temporary possession trusted into his care. The Order of Hammer rejects this thesis, insisting that the right to care for these sacred objects belongs to the ecclesiarchy, cult, and since Cognatus was canonized, then the crucible should be regarded as a blessed relic, not an archaeotech. How fierce are the deliberations? Quite. The discussions have been happening now for more than 8 cycles without interruption. Both sides have provided more than 100 legal experts and have put forward around 4,000 theses, arguments, and testimonies. The Special Administratum Commission, comprised of 200 armed clerks, have arrived to pass a verdict and enforce the law. This is probably the largest religious dispute in the Expanse's history. Abbess Lugenalia is vehemently defending the rights of the order and seems to have managed to instill a touch of righteous fear into the explorators. Perhaps it will keep them from taking revenge if the dispute does not conclude in their favor. Says my companions. It is likely that the research contained in the ancient treaties and archival repositories of the Adeptus Mechanicus will provide factual information on similar precedent. I can spare some of my computing power to find such a case and provide my brothers and sisters with information that is necessary to win this dispute. I believe that the chronicles of the Amalinian conclave describe the mystical miracles witnessed by zealots while praying at the ancient banner of St. Capius. Should the crucible perform a similar miracle, then no doubt will remain that it is indeed a holy relic and not the property of the Adeptus Mechanicus. Shireen, do you know the best motivation to make your enemies ripe for the compromise? The danger of losing any sort of benefit. Is it within your power to take the crucible for yourself, using the privilege of your warrant if so you desire? Why do you not imply such a possibility to the parties involved? That's a good point. I will. Jay is right. Make it clear to all those involved that if they will not come to a consensus, then I will take the crucible for myself. Let's see how long it takes for them to come to a consensus now. As soon as the news of the rogue traders' bellicose stance on the crucible reached the ears of the disputing sides, they unanimously decided to start looking for a compromise. It only took them several cycles to reach an agreement on their collective maintenance of the crucible. In the process of forming their alliance, the monks and the tech priests have discovered a surprising similarity between them. Both of them hold strong convictions and devotions to their relics, and thus both sides found the strength to see one another as true like-minded supporters, not mere reluctant allies. Research into the crucible has identified it as a device for surface terraforming, fueled by the geothermal energy of the planet. It could turn a wasteland into a blooming garden. However, a way to launch it has yet to be found. Lord Captain, the crucible's great sculpting is underway. Valstone is being transformed right before our eyes into a fertile world with lush groves and clean water. However, there is evidence that the crucible has also created humans. From the mouth of the relic came several thousand people who, speaking an archaic form of Low Gothic, demanded to be given orders. They cultivate land, build houses and production facilities with obedience and, in general, have a remarkable range of skills and knowledge. However, it seems that these people completely lack their own free will, and for this, the monks have named them Touched. The tech priests who served the crucible came upon birthing vats built into the relic. The machine is constantly growing new Touched within them. There is a split among the believers, though many call it a miracle sent by the Emperor himself and want to quickly put the Touch to work. Part of the population is frightened by these soulless creatures born from the ancient machine. They demand that the planet's learned men intervene in the great sculpting and find a way to stop the production of the Touched. How dangerous are these Touched? They do not appear to pose a threat. The autopsy of several specimens have shown that they are physiologically identical to ordinary humans. No traces of corruption or xenotampering were found either. However, their obedience is a double-edged sword. They obey any orders without knowing or caring who gives them, and thus nothing prevents the cunning intruder from bending them to their will, creating an army of obedient slaves or spies at their disposal. I think my officers and advisors. They were born by the relic of St. Cognatus, which means they pleased the Emperor. We have to remind people of it. Arrange a public ceremony of the tonsure to initiate the Touched into the Order of Hammer, and the service dedicated to reading parables about the act of St. Cognatus and his followers. Why don't you make the first move and assemble a mighty force from these Touched ones? If they are so obedient and diligent, then they will make fine troops. Assign a loyal commander to each squad to keep an eye on them, and these strange people will turn from threats into mighty defenders of the Imperium. Lack of will, registering a high probability of manufacturing failure within the Crucible's sacred process. It is recommended to dispose of the finished batch of units and halt production of new ones. The algorithm of the great sculpture requires further examination. Yeah, I'm kind of in agreement with Pascal here. Because here's the thing, okay? Anyone could tell them to do something. Like, anyone. So that's not great. Yes, Pascal, you have permission to study Crucible's algorithms, dispose of the touched. The knowledge will be extracted by any means necessary. The touched did not try to defend themselves or to resist in any way. They have accepted death in much the same way they lived life, quietly and obediently. The unrest among the citizens have simmered, and the great sculpting has continued as before, but the development rate of fertile land had noticeably declined without the touched. The tech priest's investigation covered a number of defects in the operation of the birthing vats within the crucible. It was these defects that caused such strange obedience within the touched. The proposition of making improvements to the sacred relic filled the tech priest with the most profound dread, and thus Falstone was left without the Tacturan workers. However, priceless knowledge extracted by the servants of the Unsire was a great reward in and of itself. I mean, that's fair, right? That's right, we still were undecided what to do here, weren't we? So I think we'll stay undecided. Okay, that's Falstone. And they're touched. This is where we're meant to be going, so... let's just go. It's dangerous. Some fighting may happen. Oh, here goes. Entry A201.48.66.10. Chronometer turns since the incident. Enforcer. Witness, Haida on 00110101, you claim that you left Sanctum Navis on the Lady Navigator's orders? Haida, affirmative. This unit acted in accordance with the maintenance protocol TRN 08353. Step 1. Sense the sacred mechanisms for the durations of 15 chronometer turns. Step 2. Enforcer, you failed to inform the bridge about the imminent jump. I want to know why. Hida. Data unavailable. The Lady Navigator ordered that she be connected to the void ship, but she did not order the preparations of the machine spirits for warp translation. Cause, a ritual that cannot be identified by this unit's capabilities. This unit received a command to interrupt protocol TRN 08353 and exit the Sanctum Navis. Okay, servant. No, please, not the fingers. Enforcer, I'm gonna break one for every word of a lie I hear coming from your mouth. Now talk. Servant, please. You have to believe me. All we did was prepare the canvas and mix the Lady Navigator's blood into the paints. Then we were told to lock open the shutters so that the Lord Captain could see everything that was going on inside the Sanctum Navis from the observation chambers. And Enforcer, grog shit. Armor glass can't shield you from warp horrors. Servant, I swear it on my soul and the Golden Throne. Master Enforcer, the Lady Navigator only wanted to paint a picture for a ritual of some such. That's all I know. She wasn't going to use the power in her eye, but I still got as far away from there as I could. That's all I saw, I'm telling you. Senior Enforcer, we performed an emergency warp jump, barely activated by the Gellerfield in time, and are now being dragged to the throne knows where by an unknown force. The Lady, the Lady Navigator and the Lord Captain are still unaccounted for. Well, where the fudge are we? Now tell me one more time. What transpired in the Sanctum Navis? Enforcer, I escorted the Lord Captain to the observation chambers and yelled at the servant for leaving the shutters open. But then I was told it was on the road trader's orders. We could see the Lady Navigator clearly through the armor glass. She was lost in thought, staring at the canvas in front of her. She looked like she was completely unaware of the world around her. Soon the servants were ordered to leave the Sanctum Navis, and the Lady Navigator picked up her brush. In trance, she started dragging across the canvas, painting one image over another, and another one over the last, and another. And then the Lord Captain noticed it. There was a thing on the other side. The picture, covered in layers of fresh blood, was coming to life, but the Lady Navigator was oblivious. That is when the Lord Captain called out to Lady Cassia. Startled by the Lord Captain's cry, the Lady Navigator answered. That's when I realized it. The armor glass between us and the Sanctum Navis was gone. And the thing in the painting, they broke free. Senior Enforcer. And what happened next? Enforcer. I barely remember a thing. There was a bright flash, a purple blur. I remember feeling so scared that my knees were shaking. I remember my legs carrying me away like they had a mind of their own. And as I ran, I heard screams behind me. The Lord Captain and Lady Cassia, they... Oh, God, Emperor, the creatures, they pulled them both inside the painting. Yikes! Sir, Mistress Voxmaster, I have a report that needs to be delivered to the senior officers. The Lord Captain and Lady Navigator were lost during the emergency warp jump. Their whereabouts are still unknown. I am sending you the interrogation report. End recording. We're lost again. Sector, no data. Region, no data. Location, no data. Relation of the Lord Captain's personal account, recorded by no data. Notes, strictly classified. Access protocol holder, Titania von Shire von Volantis. Tisphonius of Celia's ritual did not go as planned. The warp disturbance triggered by the Lady Navigator's trance washed over the Sanctum Navis. The void ship's machine spirits reacted to the surge of the Immaterium and interpreted as a call to action. Thus did the emergency jump into the unknown begin. Amid the shrieks of sirens, the clanging of shutters, and the distant hum of a warp engine, some unknown will pulled the Lord Captain into the Sanctum Navis, towards the creature from the living canvas that had already gripped the Lady Navigator's throat. Horrified, almost out of breath and struggling to scream, Cassia stretched out her hand and began slowly sinking into her own painting. The Lord Captain snatched the dagger from the floor and started hacking at the hands reaching from inside the painting. The ritual dagger of House Socelio cleaved the billowing shadow, and yet the painted hand reformed itself the moment after the blade passed through it. Cassia went limp in the clutches of her horrific creation and was immediately pulled into the other side of the painting. A moment later, Titania von Shire, still clutching the dagger, was likewise plunged into the depths of the world the Lady Navigator had created. Titania von Shire woke, finding herself in the middle of a gigantic, boundless, billowing nothingness. Her body felt weightless, floating in a void strewn with hundreds of the Lady Navigator's colours, some of them bright, warm and alluring, others more morose, cold and heavy. I'm going to say, closed her eyes and remained adrift weightlessness. Titania von Shire stayed in the ocean of nothingness, devoid of any sensation or emotion, until an ornament ritual dagger floated before her eyes and reminded her of the world that once seemed more real than this one. Someone's scream broke the delicate equilibrium of the Lord Captain's motionless body, and the weightlessness released her. She plummeted into the maroon abyss of roiling illusions, but was now in full control of her body again. Then Titania von Shire reached for the bright colours. Titania von Shire plunged into a river of bright hues, and flashes of rosy sunsets and lilac carried her down the dazzling stream. Before long, the Lord Captain was standing in an idyllic garden permeated with the fragrance of flowers and the singing of birds. Servants in purple livery darted back and forth, attending to a withered old woman in a navigator's mask. Sitting on her lap and smiling coyly to everyone was a little girl with ruby eyes and white hair. "Be a good little girl, my child, until the day we meet again." With trembling hands, the woman handed the girl to the navigator in the laboratory attire. "I am out of time. Prepare the child for the Atlas. Transfer and destroy all records and mentions of the world of Irtivi. None must learn of which took place here. And remember, her body must grow strong for it to accept my power, and once I have returned, loyalty will be rewarded." The memory was gone, and Titania von Shire once again found herself plummeting into the maroon abyss of roiling visions. Swim towards the dark colours. Greyish-blue waves swallowed the Lord Captain. A feeling of lightness disappeared as her limbs grew heavy again. Titania von Shire fell on the hard floor of a laboratory cluttered with vats as tall as a human. Inside them were dozens, hundreds even, of repulsive mutants. Some had no arms, or no legs, or 2 heads, or no face, or their innards turned inside out, but each had white skin, white hair, long clawed limbs, and ruby eyes. My lady, the child is born! The tall woman slowly approached one of the vats. Readings, stable, mutations, none were detected at any stage. Genes, identical, my lady. Chance of survival? 100 times higher than any of the previous experiments. How long will it take to grow this child? I fear accelerating the process might cause the body to fail. The only one after years of silence. I understand the situation. Natural growth. I don't have that much time. We will have to go with a backup plan. Yes, Nevada, it will be done. The memory was gone. Titania von Shire once again found herself plummeting in the maroon abyss of roiling visions. The Lord Captain descended into the abyss towards the screams. The Lord Captain crashed from an immeasurable height to the bottom of a roiling abyss. In the next moment, Titania von Shire saw 2 figures amid the billowing maroon mists. One of the figures, unnaturally gaunt and tall, was clutching the other, smaller one, in its claws and screaming furiously. Okay, this is not going to go well. Yeah. The crimson swirls confused the rogue trader's thoughts and emotions. She could hear whispers and moans coming from the depths. If she were to take one step, she would be forever lost in the violent mist and joined the wretched chorus. But it was yet also a voice so desperately pleading for mercy, yet whose voice it was, Titania von Shire could not tell. She drew closer to the figure. One step was all it took for some unknown force to notice the Lord Captain, seize her, and drag her through the painting's twisted space. Now the Lord Captain could clearly see the dark shade of a long-dead navigator leaning over Cassia, clutching her neck in its clawed fingers. The shade screamed. You were given life because of me. You survived because of me. And here you are now, because I have willed it so. Bow before me. Tell me what I wish to hear, and your suffering will end. Go on, child. I have waited for so long. Submit to me. Oh, gosh, that is terrifying. Cassia looked exhausted, her body covered in hundreds of thin cuts, her lips lacerated, claws marked on her cheeks. Yet there was steadfast resolve in her eyes. I know who you are, Tisphone of Celio. I know what you crave. I saw it in the visions that you sent me again and again. I won't allow you. I will never allow you to become me. Cassia's fatigued voice quivered, but she was not about to yield in this battle. So the Lord Captain urged the Lady Navigator to fight the monster to the bitter end. The Lord Captain's word attracted not just Lady Cassia's attention. Tisphone of Celio, finally noticing the presence of a living creature in that bizarre world, turned to face the interloper and lunged forward, seething with rage. When the end of these claws were millimeters from the rogue trader's throat, Cassia opened her navigator's eye, and a wave of unbridled warp energy obliterated Tisphone's spectre before she realized what was happening. The Lady Navigator graced the Lord Captain with a tired smile. The abortive ritual had turned out to be a trap set for Lady Cassia by a previous navigator of her house. But the rogue trader had ensured that her plan fell to ruin, and now it was time to desert that accursed place. Cassia took the rogue trader's hand and guided her through the maroon mist and out of the painting. There, unconscious bodies were discovered in the Sanctum Navis, 20 terrain days after their disappearance. As soon as the rogue trader's void ship had emerged from the warp in an unknown system. That is insane. Ooh, pretty. Okay, this is a really pretty system. Find a world added to the worlds of the expanse. Okay, this place seems interesting. Okay, I expected there to be the Palace of the Atlas. Well, it makes sense for Cassia to join us. Can we quickly level her up? We could be here a while, but we should level her up. Okay, let me quickly do this. I want to turn up the sound a little bit more. There you go. And maybe, to be honest, I've been maybe turn the music up. This game has some amazing music, and the reason why I've not actually had the music up high is because my mic setup was all wrong, and I'm thinking I may have fixed it. I'm hoping to have fixed it. But let's see how that goes. Okay. Okay, this place looks interesting. Let's go up. Oh wait, we wanted to level up Cassia quickly. As quickly as we can. So basically, she's just taken over from what Pascal does. And if she's gonna be here for us. Do you kind of want to focus on her warp abilities more? Athletics up. We're nearly there. We're nearly there. Okay. We do need to quickly... Oh, that's not what I wanted. Quickly give us some sort of weapon, because she has nothing. That's a melee weapon. A hammer does her well. She's scary looking. Now that I've had a closer look at her, she actually is scary looking. Hmm. I wish there was a way to do basically what's suitable for them. I don't know if there is.
That is foolishness.
Oh, right. Sorry. Sorry. Well, anyway. Can she not use that? That should have been something I got onto. I never thought. Oh, well, she'll be alright. She'll be fine. She can use one of those. It's fine. Right, anyway. As we were.
Keep your wits about you.
Hello? Okay, as we were. Someone removed the data crypt from these dead machines to keep the house's secret safe and leave no information about the experiments that took place here.
Is there money to be made?
Why?
This once impeccable
Haven't I
creation of
studied hard
Adari has lain in ruins for many millennia. Ooh, should go down there. Wait, there it is. We gotta climb down first. Before we climb down, let us look. There's barely a noticeable imprint of a long clawed hand on a broken cognate.
Rise to the top, or get left in the dust.
That looks like an Eldari gate, doesn't it? The Eldari sanctum is blemished by human presence. In their pursuit of ancient secrets, the navigators had no qualms about filling the ruins with machinery and supplies. Okay, we must climb down.
Strong and wise is Ulfar.
The silly navigators left no stone unturned in this Adari temple. It is as if they were looking for something that they just could not find.
I've read about this.
Let us not dawdle.
Good, okay. Oh, it's Jakari, okay.
A space wolf never fails in their duty.
Oh, can we not go? Oh, no, we can go. Hold on, I got confused. I got a little confused. It's fine. House Rosilio need not know what has taken place here. The navigators are frightened enough by its power as it is. The last experiment left 3 from the Safala clan without a shred of reason. Empty shells will bring no glory to House Rosilio or its lesser branch. We shall carry on. At last, we have managed to implant the artifact in subjects who can wield its power. Perhaps all of the navigators who perished in the agonizing torrent of energies were merely a symptom of our decline. I am tired of counting the dead. The weak have no place among those who have harnessed the Atlas. Their abilities have grown manifold and become significantly easier to control and more effective at resisting the ruinous influence of the warp. It is all or nothing. Today is the day when my work is completed and the Starway Atlas takes its final form. The Cephalas have already undergone the operation. All that's left is me, the Atlas that controls them all. Today, I become the greatest novator in history of House of Celio, or I turn to nothing. This power's beyond compare. All it took was a whim to make the wretched Cephalas fall dead at my feet. Ah! It is as if I have a second heart beating in my chest, subjugating any with the ability to touch it. How regrettable it is that this power only extends to those of Celio navigators who have accepted a piece of the Atlas within themselves. From now on, all children will be gifted with one at their initiation, and there will be no one who can match our greatness. Yikes! Yikes! The heart of the navigator's camp. This is where Tisoni of Celio performed her experiments hundreds of years ago. Yeah, we can't go anymore. There is. Yeah, you can go up there. Okay. Can Sister Argenta not do it?
I always have a backup plan.
I'm restless. I better myself through my service.
Ooh, what are these? Trigger's manual. Manual grants the owner. Oh, okay, cool. The Grenadier's backpack. The wearer and their allies are immune to damage from the wearer's grenades. The first time the wearer uses a grenade during their turn, they have 50% chance not expend the grenade. That's pretty awesome.
I always keep my options open.
That is actually pretty awesome. Who invited them? Well, about to find out. Halt, cursed child! We had to ally ourselves with Xenos once more to stop you. Heresy? No matter, it is a small price to pay for the liberation of House of Celio from the chains of tyranny. Oh! Begone, renegades! We followed the Atlas's call in your wake. Child, stand with us. House of Celio will not trade Tiffony's legacy for the false ideals of blind fools. Oh dear. What is happening? Ah! Oh dear. Oh dear. Oh dear. Oh dear. Oh dear. Oh. That's really unfortunate. Oh. Damned Xenos. This was not the bargain we struck. Throne smite you, the navigator whose skin is so thin that it reveals the muscle, bones, and innards underneath clenches at his augmented gold jaw in contempt. What is this? The rogue trader and the traitors to the house have lured the child into a trap set by Xenos? I wish my eyes would deceive me, but now I can see clearly that the great Regent Araronto was right to send us after your vessel. The sturdily built woman is armed with a pistol, and yet there are signs of exhaustion in her posture. Her face is hidden behind a gem-encrusted three-eyed mask, and her elaborate Navis Nobilite investments are stained with dried blood and other evidence of recent combat. I too wish to be enlightened about what is happening here. You will stop defiling the remains of the hallowed ground of our ancestors with your semblance of speech, monkey. The Harlequin's bright clothes glimmer faintly in the dim light of the system star, and the sinister grin on his mask only adds to his menacing and aloof presence. The final act will soon unfold, where you will pay for the deeds of your ancestors. Stay put and wait for the puppeteer to pull at your strings. Why? Why are the Xenos ruins where the Palace of the Atlas should be? Why is this place coated in an impenetrable black mist? I'm suffocating. Cassia clutches her breastplate where near where her atlas is, her voice feeble and trembling. The three-eyed monkey who sees into Shalael, the taint of your ancestors, has begun to consume your body and soul. Pathetic fools, with an insatiable lust for power that is not yours. Ending your misery will be merciful. Taint? Do you mean the Atlas Xenos traitor? Silence, traitor! The Atlas is a sacred relic of House Ocelio. It is what elevates us above the rest. How dare you? The Regent's envoy abruptly loses her breath with a groan, and she clutches her chest where her atlas is implanted. I refuse to accept this. Impossible. What is this place? Your primitive language has no words to convey the true nature of this place, but I will venture a try. Some call it the world beneath the first stars. Others know it as the Crone world, or the Unblighted world. It was our ancestors' home before we became prey to She Who first. What is this taint you speak of, Xenos? Do you not see it? A harlequin's voice booms throughout the ruined temple. When you monkey discovered this Crone world, you tainted it with your crude technology, despoiled it of its relics, ruined all there was to the last stone. But worst of all, you sullied the souls of our ancestors reposed in their sacred vessel, the spirit monolith. He points his thin fingers at the remarkable crystal floating behind his back, and the harlequins around you tighten the grips on their weapons. Like a sea of bottomless blue. Cassia looks around her with a stunned expression, her gaze shifting from one Xenos to another. I did not know that living things could exude such saturated hues. I wish I could paint this ocean a different color. The enormous translucent stone shares a strange resonance with this place. You can sense the energy emanating from it, mysterious, restless, coagulated. It resembles a giant heart that has been plucked out of its owner's chest. Its crystal clarity is pierced by hundreds of dark veins that have taken root within, like terrible illness. How did the navigators of the House of Celio take the spirit, Monolith? The experiments. Cassia covers her mouth in horror. This is where she conducted her experiments. Tisphone. No. It is not possible. To consort with Xenos is to violate the word of the God Emperor. It is known to all that Tisphone or Celio executed anyone who showed any interest in the enemies of humanity. Is that so? Then why is it that every piece of metal or fabric in this place bears our house's coat of arms? Open your eyes. Quiet. The harlequin's tone is mild, but it is not a request. I am unsurprised that the truth is hidden from your gazes, three-eyed monkey, who see into the Shalael. I realized it the moment I met the first of you, wretched, begging us to help you destroy your own kin. I sensed it within you. Our ancestors' calls, their pleas, their endless torment. I knew that what you had found was the Crone world, and I humbly waited for a day you would lead me to it. What experiments does Tisphone conduct here? I cannot say where this memory sprang from. Perhaps I saw visions of Tisphone in my dreams, and yet I've seen all this so clearly. There was such power locked within this stone, such opportunities. It would make our navigator's abilities several times stronger. No, it would magnify them by a factor of dozens. The price was too high. After merely hours of use, the stone would always burn the minds of its hosts. That is why Tisphone broke the monolith into many shards, which were far easier for a human will to control. No. Your ancestors went further than that. The Harlequin trembles with fury. They placed the shards of the spirit monolith inside their bodies to empower their abilities. I never wished to learn such half-truths about my own house. Cassia buries her face in her hands, and you feel waves of despair spreading from her lithe frame, which suddenly appears as fragile as glass. Neither Theodora von Valancius nor Tisponia was infallible. But that doesn't mean we are powerless to rectify the errors of our ancestors. You say that only because you wish to soothe me, she smiles faintly. The renegade navigator stares at Cassie in shock. You are more than just a tyrant's heir. You are a successor to a mad heretic, a betrayer of the faith. You must be destroyed, you and the Atlas, once and for all. You think the solution is so easy, don't you, monkey? When you die, your souls become captives inside the spirit monolith. This process is deranging our ancestors, who have served as the monolith's guardians for aeons. It is equally agonizing to the souls of your dead, and the more monkey souls the monolith absorbs, the more volatile it becomes. The Adari and the monkey have spent many a dance battling for supremacy within the monolith, and its integrity is waning. You sense it too. The only way to free our ancestors from the pain is to separate the monkey taint from the spirit monolith. My troop is here to perform just that. We all will play our parts today, and when the final act of the age-long tragedy begins, the monkey players will exit this world stage. Sinister shadows dance on the Harlequin's mask as he draws an unknown device from his sleeve. Cassia is the inheritor of the one who found the spirit monolith to the navigator's bodies. Listen to whatever she has to say. She is not the woman her predecessor was. Cassia gives you a grateful nod and turns to the Harlequin troop. I cannot change the past, it is true, nor can I change the fact that my house is forever tainted with disgrace born of Tisphonia's or Celia's hubris. Yet all of us here today have the power to change the future and halt the unending suffering that is drowning both your kin and mine. You suggest that the monkey and the Eldari changed the future together? The Harlequin leans forward curiously. I must admit, my leading lady, I am confounded by your audacity. Go on. My Atlas. Cassia places a hand on her gilded breastplate. If you can free the phantoms of my house from the spirit monolith and guide them to enter my Atlas, their experience and wisdom will help steer House Cecilio onto the path of truth and allow future generations to avoid calamitous pitfalls of their forebears. Kea Morag, my leading lady, the shards of the monolith are lodged inside the chest of every monkey bound to you by ties of blood. How exactly do you intend to return them? I shall use the Atlas to sever my subject's connection to the spirit monolith, and then I shall extract its shards from every navigator of House Ocelio. This artifact is implanted at birth, but that does not mean that the ritual cannot be reversed. I witnessed its creation through Tiphonius' eyes in my visions. I lived it over and over again through the memories of the Cephala clan. I can recreate the ritual that will return the souls of your kin to you and save my people's lives. Seldom do humans and Zealous get a chance to resolve their conflicts without violence. I second Lady Cassia's proposal. The Harlequin remains as still as a garish statue for several minutes. Then the mellifluous voice behind the mask says, I am willing to try, monkey. No! The Regent Envoy draws her pistol. I won't let you destroy the Atlas, even if it is the child's wish. Lady Ocelio, you are too young, inexperienced. You simply cannot comprehend. You address the future novator of House Ocelio, one who survived the massacre of Uric V, who has lived following an attempt on her life at the Palace of Dargonus, who has restored her house's stability in what scant time she has been free, while you, all of you, have spent years destroying it from within. You address one who has passed through the tempest of the Sea of Souls to the true Atlas as a rogue trader's ally. Yet, still call me unworthy, don't you? Young? Inexperienced? Kneel before me, and I shall forgive you of your insolence. Oh, damn! Cassia is on fire! House Cecilia was always loyal to the Novator Tisphone. Henceforth it will be loyal to her successor, even if you see fit to lead us down a different path, my lady. The navigator's voice trembled with reverence. Are you done with your performance, monkey? Then stand aside and do not interrupt. Not entirely sure if this is a good idea. I can feel it again. The tranquility. The ancestral souls have found peace, and the corruption no more endangers the monolith or this world. The Harlequin's narrow shoulders now look completely relaxed. Remember our agreement, Cassia Arcelio. We will soon meet in this place again, so that you can give us the shards. And now, begone from our world, monkey. Begone. I'll have those, though. They
Always
belong
keep
to me.
your eye on the prize.
They belong to me.
I beg your pardon.
Yeah, we're not very good at lore when it comes to Xenos lore. Can we speak to him? Have we lost something, I fear?
Is there money to be made?
There was a time when I believed that I would lead my house to prosperity. In truth, fortune and blessings have long since been passing us by, as if the Coronis expanse itself is trying to oust the Arcelio children from its bounds. If nothing changes in the near future, all of us will wither like night flowers at dawn, or perhaps face our ultimate fall. Upon my word, the Sea of Souls itself just favours me. During the last jump I saw into the eyes of a vicious storm, and within it, amid the ruins of a Xenos world, was a treasure mighty and dangerous, not unlike our own power. And I found a way to reach it, drive away the memory of our journey and the cost that our house has suffered. The ritual alone was... oh, no matter. The goal will be worth the price, and due efforts is all that is needed of us. By the grace of the Emperor, we made it through the terrible tempest. However, Aldari ruins appeared to have dampened the crew's spirits. Those pitiful commoners talk too much. Tensions in the camp are rising. I should cut out the tongues of those who witnessed the first experiments. This information cannot be allowed to reach the ship. No, not just them. I shall have the Cephala clan dock the tongues of every lowborn. Yikes. She didn't really sound like the nicest of ladies, did she?
Let us not dawdle.
Okay, well, let us not dawdle back to the ship. Something tells me that words will be had. Something tells me that words will be said. I mean, we have the lead of the Arcelio house, so as long as we're keeping her happy, we're fine.
How nice of you to grace me with your presence.
I was just thinking back to our journey to the Palace of the Atlas. That is, to the world of Xenos. Remembering that most reckless act has enveloped my mind in a whole palette of hues. But when I think of the great risk you took for House Orcelio's and my own sake, an azure shawl instantly descends on my shoulders, and amber sparks flash inside my soul. Please accept my sincerest gratitude.
Well, she sounds happy. So now you are a full-fledged novator of House Orcelio.
You of all people should know that succession is a lengthy and tiresome process. While my entire house is busy preparing for a grand council at which I am to ceremonially inherit the late Tisiphony's title, I have decided to remain by your side, to relish just a little more of this carefree liberty. For as soon as I am summoned to do my duty, we must say our farewells.
What awaits the navigators of your house now?
The Xenos have managed to free the souls of our ancestors from their confinement. The memory and wisdom of those that came before us will serve our house, helping build upon the ruins of the present a firm foundation for generations to come. I believe in that, as I believe in the divine light of the Emperor.
So now the entire power of the Atlas is in the Novator's hands?
I suppose so, if by power you mean priceless knowledge. As for the special powers granted by the Xenos souls, the navigators of House Orcelio will once again have to contend with their own bodily and spiritual limitations. However, I am undaunted by the prospect, for our line and our gene have never been weak. House Orcelio will succeed, and soon we will rise again, draped in white and gold.
Okay.
Of course, I will try to answer any questions you...
Well,
I
she
have
is
enjoyed your company.
very happy. She is very, very happy. And I am happy for her.